Alrighty. So, last time we showed that we can tell whether something is a function just by looking at the graph. So I got three graphs here. I'm going to tell whether each is a function. I'm looking for stacked points. So this is a textbook case of it right here. See how these 2 points are stacked on top of each other? This is a textbook sign that this is not a function. By comparison, each of these points has its own x value, so it is a function. Same thing here. Each of these points has its own x value. It is a function. If points are stacked on top of each other, which means they're in the vertical or up-down, they do not make a function. But there are more on graphs than just points. We also see lines. I want you to try a guess. Which of these are not going to be functions? Okay, well, you might be wondering, how am I supposed to tell? The trick is, part of the line doubles back on itself. See how this line is like curving backwards and it goes over itself? See how this circle just literally is a loop and it goes back on itself? Both of these are signs that you don't have a function. So, for example, in example 1, there's 2 places where x equals 1. So this is not a function. In example 3, there's 2 places where x equals 8. So again, not a function. Compare that to number 2. 2 is really curvy, but it never doubles back on itself. It never, arches backwards. Because of that, every single x value only shows up once. I don't have 2 4s, I don't have 2 1s, I don't have any of that. There is an easy way to tell whether something is a function. Instead of just trying to guess whether it doubles back, instead you're going to do something called the vertical line test. Essentially, you take your pencil and run it from left to right. If it hits 2 points or lines at the same time, it is not a function. So, we'll try it. I'm going to take my pen. I'm going to run it across the graph from left to right. At no point does the pen hit the graph at 2 separate spots. And if you look at the graph, it never doubles back on itself. So it is a function. By comparison, this little loop here, this oval, at every single point, my pen is touching 2 parts of it at once. So it is not a function. Put another way, there's a point where I can draw a line vertically, and it hits 2 parts of the oval at once. This last one's tricky. See how there's a little bit of a curve here at the edge? This one will actually be a function, because even though it's really sharp, that little bit of a bend means that it's actually not going to fail the vertical line test. This is a function. Okay, so once again, I don't have practice for this one. I want you to go right to the quick check and give it a shot, and we'll answer any questions if you have them. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.